back at your first year in college, your residential experience at Cornell, what was the best part and what was the most challenging part?
So I had a different experience in dorms than I think most students did. I lived in a program house, so Cornell has dorms that are dedicated to specific missions. So I lived in a dorm dedicated to environmentalism called Ecology House. So all of our programs revolved around different ways that you can get involved in environmental action, environmental activism. So for me, I think that was like very defining. I realized that even though I'm at this like very elitist institution, I could still find spaces where people cared about issues that I cared about. Um, so yeah, living in the dorm, I didn't have the typical like you're hanging out in the lounge experience that a lot of my friends did, but I did have a lot of really meaningful talks about like for example, I'm really passionate about environmental racism, which is not something that a lot of environmental activists talk about. So like having those really passionate conversations at night, like at 1 a.m., like the other eco housers is really enlightening for me.
Explain to me what environmental racism is.
So environmental racism is essentially the idea that as climate change happens, the people who feel it most are marginalized communities, mostly like Black and Brown folks, Indigenous folks, low-income people, because those are the places where like the waste is pushed off to first. So for example, where like the pipelines, like the Dakota Access Pipeline, for example, all like the people who are going to be impacted aren't like the wealthy. They can afford to move elsewhere or not have their water contaminated. Other people don't have that luxury, so they tend not to care about it. So you're really going to hit like Black people first. You're going to hit low income people first, and you want to avoid that and make sure that your climate change, any action you take around climate change is equitable and includes that vision.